Tuesday again, and we are here with the latest edition of KNN, all your latest in tabletop game news, and everything that's coming out, and all the things that we're doing on the network here. We've updated our schedule for this week as we've kind of worked through some of the, faux pas that we had last week, and errors and suggestions from you guys, so we appreciate that. Thanks for all of those things, and we'll continue to grow and strive. Yeah, a lot of good feedback, and you're actually gonna see some, I think, pretty substantial changes on some of the games we're running and whatnot. So, and we'll get to that later in the show.
Absolutely.
Let's start with the news out of Games Workshop. I always like to start with them, and they probably have the most news in the way of tabletop games, being one of the bigger companies.
Yes.
What you got, Chaos?
So we had Looncurse, of course. We talked about this last week a little bit. Looncurse did drop over the weekend. It sold out pretty much instantly at Games Workshop. And I got a chance to crack open my set of it over the weekend, take a look at it. I even built, don't know how well this will show up, but even got our Loon King on his giant squig built, ready to go. And then, of course, we got the awesome Looncurse book. I've been really impressed with Games Workshop's quality on these little mini campaigns. It's pretty typical formula for Games Workshop so far. You have like your introduction to the setting. This takes place in the realm of metal in a specific area that they've kind of fleshed out. You get a backstory. You get like a history of conflicts in that area. So if you want to try to replay any of the old conflicts, you can if this is a backdrop. A full detail of all the new units and the existing units and kind of like updated fluff on it. Most importantly, though, to me in here, because I love seeing new rules for the game, you have new battle plan rules for Darkest Depths for playing subterranean battles. And it adds some really fun elements to the game. I read this and immediately wanted to start working on a new game board that's all subterranean themed, and this may happen very soon. I get into projects like this very easily. But there's whole new rules on just how to play Age of Sigmar that make it different than your normal games out of the main book. There's also 3 new battle plans in here. If you want to play the campaign story through, you can. They tell you exactly what models to use and the setup. There's some really fun rules. One of the final mission, the board is slowly flooding as you play, and so your guys might get swept away by the rushing waters. And then just all, of course, the stats and everything for the models at the end of the book. Top-notch quality, good value out of the box set. Again, you get definitely more than $160 worth of models out of the set. I want to say just from the goblins, you get $95 worth of models, not counting the character. And if you put the character to the $30 model, which they tend to be around, I mean, you're talking $125 just in one faction.
Right.
So I think it's a good set. If you can split it with somebody, or if, like me, you play both armies, you're definitely getting your money's worth out of it. It's good to see Games Workshop consistently putting out content like this, where you have a really solid box set, a really good value, adding to the story, not just rehashing old things, but constantly growing their universe. I'm impressed with it.
And I love the Sylvaneth models in the box. I know there was only one new model, but the other models are already out. But I actually put together all of them. I only got half the box. I actually split it with somebody to take advantage of that deal because I'm not playing the Gobos. But that Arch Revenant is an awesome looking model, and so he's sitting on my project table right now at home. So he hopefully will get done. And I've been talking to Chaos about actually running the campaigns out of the book. But we have to have painted miniatures, and so we're not quite as on top of it as Games Workshop is, I would guess. They probably have a team. We got a creative team and a production team. We need a painting team now.
Right.
So we'll work on that, but as soon as we get some painted models, we're going to get that on the board on Legacies of War, which we'll also talk about later in the show.
Yep. So funny thing, though.
Yeah.
So last week when we were talking, you were like, oh, yeah, Looncurse is coming, and there's probably going to get rumors of a new Sylvaneth book soon.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on, because let's talk about that, and we're going to speculate. That's okay, though. It's a news show, so we can speculate. It's a little bit of a news show. We got we got a little bit of the hint from that too with Forbidden Power, which is coming out next week. So you can pre-order it this week. It's the next version of the Malign Sorceries for Age of Sigmar. And we at our store were allocated only 2.
Every store.
Every store
in the U.S.
Games
is what
Workshop.
they're
And
saying.
so the Sylvaneth book, if you didn't go see it on Warhammer Community, there is a video. It's real cutesy. I do love their cutesy videos they're doing now, by the way.
Their media's great.
But he's doing some kind of plant thing, which is totally cool, growing Sylvaneth out of the plants. And there's a break in some kind of speculation on there must be having some kind of issue with, we're guessing China, because that's where all the books are printed. And so maybe there's a trade issue. I know the United States is having that issue right now with some of those barriers. And so maybe seeing some delays in Games Workshop product is kind of like what we're speculating just because of that.
But yeah, they mentioned the book. They've shown the book cover. The book is coming for Sylvaneth. It just hasn't got here yet, so we're.
And I have personal interest now because I actually, because of that box, have started a Sylvaneth army. I have a pretty substantial force and definitely need that book. But so speculation. There's probably going to be some hiccups coming for Games Workshop, maybe for other companies too.
Yeah, could be.
I would guess, but I know we're going to feel it most probably from Games Workshop because they're the biggest. Probably for some trade agreement between them, and we're guessing China. I'm sure it's probably official out there somewhere on the internet. So, but that's what we're thinking. So, Forbidden Power again is the new thing for next week. Looks, from what we've seen, looks pretty cool.
New scenery kits accompanying it too. Ruined temples of Sigmar.
Those are really some of the coolest kits I've seen for Sigmar.
And they're all like interchangeable. Yeah. I mean, they're doing for fantasy what they've already done for 40K.
For 40K, yeah.
Or, sorry, fantasy. Age of Sigmar. Old school player, sorry. But you can like kind of kit bash the pieces together and still use them all, and they look really good. And I was talking to one of our production guys earlier about that, and about like how we used to make scenery and how it used to be like just kind of this kit bashing using all kinds of old VHS tape cases to make industrial scenery for 40K, but how much better their scenery has become over the years.
Yeah.
And I'm just really excited to see that. I didn't used to be excited about scenery. Now I really am.
I was going to say, that was my same thing. Scenery was always something that, one, I never bought, and two, since running a store, we never bought to buy except for to have in the store because people didn't buy it. But these new scenery kits are actually really exciting, and so they look really cool. You can check them out, again, at the Warhammer community site. They have probably the better pictures. We'll start having pictures on this site as well. But really excited about that Age of Sigmar scenery. I'm looking forward to painting that up and using it on the table. Last thing for Games Workshop, Kill Team.
Yes.
And Kill Team I actually love Kill Team. I played it quite a bit when it came out. Our current community is not a huge, it doesn't go huge. I went to Gamma again, and I visited with the Games Workshop team, and they all were lauding over it. Oh, it's so good, it's so big, and we see that everywhere. I think we've sold a couple of boxes on the internet for like twice what they're worth because I guess it's out everywhere. But so kind of cool, but we don't have a ton of Kill Team community here. So we do want to mention, though, the Elites are coming out this week.
Custodes will be playable as a faction in that. They're going to have some new box sets with some of the Elite factions. I think there's a Thousand Suns one coming out. And they come with scenery as well. Yeah. And so I like their boxes for the value. Once again, if you're trying to like add a specific unit to your army and get some scenery, it's a little bit of a better deal. You save a few dollars on it usually doing that. So I think they're worth looking into. I've only played one game of Kill Team. I'm guilty of being one of the ones not really into Kill Team. I prefer bigger games rather than the skirmish games. I'm an APOC player. Like, I love Apocalypse. I'm super excited about the announcements at Warhammer Fest and seeing more of Apocalypse, and I can't wait till that drops. I'm really excited for that one. I hope we get a release date soon. And of course, the Sisters of Battle, all the other announcements that came too. But for me, Apocalypse was the big announcement.
So
and Chaos Knights.
I would expect a lot about Apocalypse on KNN. So be looking for that too. It'll be a thing, kind of like Knights and Duncan.
But moving away from Games Workshop.
Yeah. Magic: The Gathering, probably the next big Wizards company's always big. We have Spellbook Gideon hitting the shelves next. As the allocations have been released, and it's starting on the new WPN system. If you're not familiar with that, you can look that up for WPN. It's a Wizards Play network, and that's how stores get allocated prizes and all those kinds of things. And so they really just changed the whole thing and how it works for stores, local game stores. Again, at Gamma, there was some positive feedback on that, and there was also some outrage. Really, they're pushing away, and they won't say this, I don't think, but a lot of the gearing and the metrics push away from like a modern format, which I would argue is probably it's the most popular here,
Yes.
and I would argue it's probably the most popular across the Magic formats in general. And obviously, Wizards wants to push standard, so that's what
Standard
they're
makes
try to
sense from a
push.
business model.
Of course, because it's the newer cards, and you always got to buy new stuff. But players kind of push back on that, and then the stores are going to feel that. So we're going to hopefully see some more standard being played, or limited events, sealed and draft, because of this. But we'll see. It really only has an impact on what they now call the premier stores, really. But again, you'll see that pushback. But some of the new things they're doing with the play packs and getting rid of the foil singles, the alt art singles, and putting them into the play packs that you actually get allocated as a WPN member is pretty cool. But Spellbook Gideon hits the shelves. And then we see Modern Horizons, June 4th, I believe, is the pre-release. And it's not a typical pre-release, so there's no pre-release pack, but they are pushing a sealed event or a draft event. And Modern Horizons is geared towards the modern player. It's almost a replacement. Maybe you can disagree or agree with that, for an ultimate set, if you will, or a master set, if you will.
I think it's going to allow some of the players who are more standard players to dive into the modern format easier too.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the card list looks like when it comes out.
Yeah, and I think they have a lot of them released already. But it's not a $4 a pack. I know there's no MSRP on Magic cards anymore, but it's not a $4 a pack set. I think we're looking at $8, $9, something like that. $8.99, I think, is what it's going to look like as you look at a booster pack for Modern Horizons. And again, it's pretty exciting because it's the first time they've actually done a pre-release event or pitched one as a WPN network for a set that wasn't in the standard rotation. So it should be pretty cool. A lot of the guys here, and girls, we shouldn't just say guys, we have some girl Magic players as well, and always looking to add more to those ranks because they are fun to play against when we talk about that, and as they develop and grow into those. So the Modern Horizons is the next thing after in June, and then we look for M20 come July. So Magic is just hitting it like hot and heavy month after month after month.
I'm going to jump back really quick too. So like Jay Spellbook came out.
Yeah.
Was that last year or the year before?
Yeah, it was last year. Yep.
And that was crazy popular.
Yep.
A local game store, Heroic Realms, sold out of that really fast. Managed to get another shipment in and sold out really fast again. And so we'll see if Gideon Spellbook live up to that legacy, right? We'll see if it still has as good a card for anything.
I think the cards in it are good, and they have the alt art just like the Jace's does. But Jace is one of those planeswalkers. I mean, you could rank them, and it's going to be Knight's ranking and it's going to be his guess on the national ranking. You're going to go Liliana, you're going to go Jace, and then the other ones are going to get lost in the shuffle. I know we're going to outrage a couple of people who are like, no, Gideon's the best one, but that's probably what you're looking at, and we haven't seen that, but I think that's what my opinion is. Jace's Spellbook benefited from some of that, Jace being one of the more popular planeswalkers.
Why not pick a Liliana Spellbook?
They're saving it. Okay. They're going to push four Magic sets out and rechange everything, and then when things are going down, they'll use Liliana to get back. Plus, she died in War of the Spark. Died.
Didn't Gideon die too?
I don't know.
Thought he did.
Oh.
I don't keep up on it though.
I thought she saved him, but maybe I'm in the video. Yeah, that's hearsay. And then, so that's kind of your Magic world. So the summer's we're going to see M20 in the summer, and your standard rotation will rotate all your Ixalan and Rivals and M19 and Dominaria will rotate out in October. So again, we'll talk more about that as that comes, but those are new things on the Magic horizon. So, and then one notable game, Keyforge. For those of you who haven't heard about, great game, Richard Garfield game.
Yep. Creator of Magic.
Second edition comes out end of this month on the 31st, I believe, and they, again, at Gamma, they told us that they shouldn't have the same problems that the first set had, and so there will be enough inventory for everybody to get some and get what they need and kind of go from there. It looks to add some new components, new houses, and some definitely new play styles. The first set is all fully playable in it, and very, very cool game. If you're looking to get into a new game, it's also very easy to get into. Even Chaos will play it.
Chat, can you still hear me? Because if not, I may have to step off and grab a new mic.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for bearing with us on that little technical difficulty, guys.
Can you hear Chaos now? That's more important than hearing me. So, Keyforge, check it out. End of the month, we'll have a lot more about that. We'll actually see some games being played as well throughout the week on some of the other shows that we have on the network. So, definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. So, for the rest of the show for tonight, we're going to step away kind of from the news and from games, which we'll be more focused on because, again, we are new.
Yes.
So we've had a bunch of input on what's the schedule going to be like. What is it? When is this? I want to tune in, but I want to tune into it. So we sat down with the production team this week and the creative team, and we said, hey, listen, guys, we got to get kind of a final schedule so we can get it up. Website is in progress. You can check it out at chaoticnight.com. It's in progress. It's not complete. We got some just kind of a skeleton bones up there. Some of the links work, some of them don't. It should be completed within the next couple of weeks. But one of the main things that we wanted to put on there was the schedule. And so we spent a lot of this week, I won't say most, talking about that with our various teams and what that's going to look like. And so
there's been a lot of coffee consumed, and probably a lot of headaches with people. But
Did we had a lot of headaches?
Well, we've gone through a lot of transitions in the last couple of days.
Yes.
And, but we got it all nailed down finally. And
well, we hope.
yeah. As always, this is a work in progress, and we're working to try to make this the best show possible for everybody. We want people who are tuning in to really enjoy the experience here. And to do that, we came up with a bunch of different concepts for shows, basically, that we're going to do to showcase. And already we have RPG out of the box, which is going to be happening tonight, 7 o'clock Mountain Time, right after our show, basically. And that is our GM running D&D 5th edition right now, directly out of the starter box. And so he ran last week. I don't know how far they got, the Lost Mines adventure out of the D&D 5e starter. I think they have a couple weeks left to go through that adventure before they're finished. And once they're done, then we'll move into a new game. We're going to move into something different. And we haven't decided which one yet, but that's going to go on tonight. And then Thursday we have, of course, Immersion RPG, which Knight is in. He's playing in. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that one really quick?
Well, last week we had some goblins who could speak Draconic. The sacred language, I believe it was, they said. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, the sacred language. And we just basically had to wipe the floor with them because they caused us no end of grief. It wasn't something that Lorik wanted to do. I want to go on camera and say that Lorik is not necessarily a lover, but he's definitely not a fighter first. He's going to try to seek the knowledge. We didn't do that last week. And so we're, I think, getting on the boat and about to sail off this island that we got stuck on after having some visions and of a world that's been kind of annihilated by some kind of dragon force. And so anyway, it'll be interesting. Tune in on Thursday at 7.
That's a more, as the name would imply, immersion RPG. That is a more serious role-playing game. There's a lot less out-of-character joking. Yep. The people sit at the table and they are in character, playing their characters from the moment we start.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. If you haven't checked it out, check out the video on it. You can catch up on the story. And we'll have a cleaned up version of that on YouTube soon too. Our YouTube channel starting up soon.
Yeah. That will be an ongoing campaign, right?
Yes, that is an ongoing campaign.
It's not a 3-week deal and done.
Nope. This is a level 1 through 20 campaign.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Really fun, really exciting. Check in to keep up on that story for Immersion. So Immersion RPG is on.
Let me talk about what's coming up next then. Okay. So after this week, so this week we just have our 2 shows. Next week we're adding 2 new shows to our lineup though. We're going to be adding Dungeon Delvers on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. once again Mountain Time, and Dungeon Delvers is not going to be a role-playing game, despite the name. We're going to be digging into the world of some board games that are all kind of that dungeon crawl feel. Games like Gloomhaven or Descent, Imperial Assault for a Star Wars feel, Warhammer Quest, Silver Tower, or Blackstone Fortress is another one. And so we're going to actually run through the campaigns live. You'll get a chance to see the campaigns all the way through. And that's going to be starting Wednesdays.
And our first one out of the box is going to be Gloomhaven. So we are starting that next week. We're going to start from scratch.
Yes.
So we actually have been playing Gloomhaven for like 27 weeks.
Yep.
And so I won't speak for Chaos, but I'm a little hesitant to start over. But we're going to start over for the sake of the network. Gloomhaven's a great game. It's a great Dungeon Delver game. And check that out next week.
With Gloomhaven, we might take breaks. Like we might play Gloomhaven for like 2 or 3 months solid every week, and then take a break to showcase another game. Because a lot of the games, the campaigns can be played in like 6 to 10 sessions. Gloomhaven, we've played for 27 sessions, and I don't think we're even halfway through the game yet. Yeah. So that's a really big endeavor, but we'll do it. And once again, these will be showing up on YouTube as well, so you'll have a chance to go back and catch them, keep up with the series. But that's going to be Dungeon Delvers on Wednesdays, and then Saturdays.
Saturdays, and this is some of the changes we made. We're going to start a channel called Legacies of War. And that'll start at noon on Saturdays, and it's going to go until it's done. We have it slated noon to 8, but it could end sooner, especially...
Or later.
Or later. It could be later. And the Legacies of War channel is going to be everything geared towards Games Workshop games. We decided to kind of flip Games Workshop. We had it on Wednesday originally, and we're going to flip it to Saturday because we've got some massive games, 40K, Age of Sigmar, Underworlds, Speed Freaks, and all the side games they kind of come out with as we play. And we are going to start with General's Journey. And we've talked a little bit about that, but we've met with the players now, and tell us a little bit more about that.
All right, so General's Journey, we're going to do a General's Journey for 40K, and it's going to be a once-a-month spotlight on a group of players who have all agreed to start new armies, and they're starting at 250 points, and they'll be adding 250 every month until they hit a 1,500-point competitive force. And they're building their armies with a theme, with a story. They'll be checking in once a month to show their progress on painting. They'll be showing their progress about what games they've played. It'll be kind of an interview show rather than seeing live games. And that
we will be seeing some of
the live games as well. Yes. Absolutely. And we were going to do this for Age of Sigmar as well eventually, but we're going to start off flagship it with 40K. And then our idea is, of course, is that throughout the whole 8-hour roughly stream is that we're going to showcase a 40K battle. If we're not doing the General's Journey on that day, we're going to showcase an Age of Sigmar battle, and then we will showcase a game from a Games Workshop side game. And these are not going to be one-off battle reports. These are going to be campaigns and story-driven, every single one of them. And so the week we kick off with General's Journey, we may also be kicking off a Age of Sigmar campaign. And it'll be like a 3 to 4 week campaign. When we wrap that up, we'll probably be starting our Age of Sigmar General's Journey as well. And then Underworlds is really popular right now. So, I mean, and I love Underworlds. I just finished assembling the last of the Underworld warbands over the weekend for myself. I need to build some new decks. We got some other people that are really excited about it as well. We've seen a lot of games being played in our LGS here too. So, but that's what it's going to be, a day dedicated to the Games Workshop hobby. Battle reports that will tell a story. And
everything is story-centered. It's one of the things, passion for games, love of the stories, what we try to kind of push here, I think, locally, and what we want to push out to you guys, especially for being a live show, that there's going to be a story to follow. So, make sure you tune in and keep up on that story. And, if Chaos wins, that changes the storyline. If somebody else wins, the storyline goes down a different path. And that's what we'll be big here for, especially on that Legacies of War Day.
And the 40K one, I mean, if you're familiar with it, in the back of the 40K book, there's an area on campaigns. We're going to run the straight tree campaign out of that book. Yeah. It's a real simple campaign. It's 3 battles, so that gives us 3 weeks. We'll have fully painted armies. We'll have some really cool looking boards set up for it too. So be sure to tune in for that.
Yeah. Fridays will bring you the board. Oh, go ahead.
2 weeks. That's an extra 2 weeks out before we do these.
Yeah, I'm gonna review the time because we kind of got mixed up through this whole thing.
So Dungeon Delvers and Legacies of War start next week.
Yes.
2 weeks after that, we'll be introducing 2 new shows.
Yes, and so we're giving ourselves some time to kind of digest the feedback from you guys, look at what went right, what went wrong with the new shows before
troubleshoot.
We roll out 1,000 new shows. Get studio changes as well. We have some new equipment obviously coming in to make those things happen a little better, especially for, I think, some of our role-playing shows and the tabletop gaming battle reports, storylines, and those kind of things that should hopefully will make the camera a little... This is our scene here, so we like this.
Right.
But everybody, one of the comments that we've got is, boy, your role-playing room walls are really dull or blank, or why is there magic in the back on a D&D game? So we're going to get some things to hopefully fix that up.
Because it's owned by the same company.
Yeah. So we have a decent studio, but we still are limited on space. So
we're always looking to improve. That's what it comes down to. We're always looking to improve.
And again, we welcome your comments. We want to be awesome for you guys, and so we want to hear about it, and we will definitely strive to make those changes. So in 3 weeks, so it'll be the 31st. Let's just say that
I think it's the week past that. I think it's the week past that.
Is it? Okay. We'll get back to you on but Fridays will be the boardroom.
The boardroom.
And it's going to be a show geared towards board games. I know my daughter, shout out to Sadie out there in San Diego. She had told me that you really got to do more board games because that's what's popular. And she's right. It's one of the more popular tabletop, if you will, games. Yeah. You play it on a table, so it
absolutely.
counts.
Well, I mean, okay, so if you're going to play Warhammer, you're breaking open a cool box set, and then you have hours of building models ahead of you, right? Prepping models, learning the rules, all that. Where most board games, maybe you're popping pieces out of cardboard, putting a few simple snap-fit models together.
I like the modeling.
I get that, but I'm just saying, I think board games are way more accessible to most people.
Yeah. There's not a barrier to entry, I think, like there is in some of the other games. And so, yes, we aren't going to neglect board games. I want to go on record because that has been, I don't want to say an accusation to what we've been doing because I think we have a lot of passion for 40K, Magic the Gathering, those kind of things. But board games aren't something we're going to ignore. And so there's a whole day.
We're hobbyists.
That's true. Purists,
we're not just gamers.
Purists.
We're hobbyists, and there's a difference.
But on board games, we're going to put that on Friday night. And our goal right now is to play a game, kind of walk through the how-tos. You get to see it played with some of the great players in our community. And then we'll kind of dissect that game after we play it. And then what we'll do is we'll do a unboxing, a box opening for the game that we'll play in the following week.
Right.
So you'll kind of get a lead in, a little hook, if you will, I think, for that. And you'll know what's coming the week after and get to see the pieces and the models before. And then we'll be able to just roll into the game on the following week without...
Gives us a week to learn the game.
Exactly. Or if they're games we've played. And so right now, our goal right now is we're going to play a game called Kemet. Kemet, if you will, and it's based in Egyptian lore. Really cool game. I took this out to my brother's house out in Salt Lake and played with him and his wife, and I think they liked it. They kept my version of the game, so I'm assuming they liked it, and... it just is a really fun game. It's got a couple of expansions. We'll start with the base game first, of course, and kind of build from there based on the popularity. But that's going to be a show that we want to be, like all our shows, but especially this one, driven by you guys, the viewers.
Yeah.
And so we'll want your comments and feedback and be like, hey, listen, I played another game. Hey, try Splendor. Let's see that one played, and we'll throw those down. And so that will become a segment just on board games for you guys that are out there doing that. So that's the boardroom on Friday nights. starting the first week of June. I guess is what we
Should
can
do a promotion. Like if we hit like 1,000 followers, we'll play Settlers of Catan.
Okay. You're gonna totally throw that at me.
I am.
Listen, and I think Settlers of Catan is a great game. I believe Settlers of Catan is your intro game to become a true gamer, if you will. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Like Monopoly. Okay, you play Monopoly. That's cool. You played Sorry as a family. You did all those games. I played all those growing up. When you start pushing to a game like Settlers of Catan, now you're taking your first step into becoming a gamer. A gamer. A real gamer.
You can just say it, Knight. You can just say you've played a lot of Settlers of Catan and you'd rather play other games now.
I played a lot of Settlers of Catan. That is very true. There are other games that have a very Settlers of a Catan feel. Concordia. I mean, I'll throw them out there. Concordia. Endeavor. Not so much a Settlers feel, but kind of that resource management kind of deal. There's a lot of them. We're going to showcase those in the board.
And don't get me wrong, we love Settlers still. We still love Settlers. Don't get me wrong. We have it sitting right here. Right here. We have a copy of it.
Look at Ticket to Ride. Great game. You know,
Arkham Horror.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's a good game.
Yeah. So anyway, we're showcasing a lot of these fun games. But yeah, 1,000 followers. Spread the word, and we'll get Knight playing. We'll get Knight playing Settlers of Catan.
You're not really punishing me, other than...
I didn't say it was a punishment.
Okay.
But if they want to see Settlers, they got to spread the word.
Spread the word. Get
right.
1,000 followers. We're going to play Settlers.
Last show.
Okay.
What's the last show we're adding?
Last show we're adding is Ready Table 1. And we did a version of it last Friday, which I don't want to say was a bomb, but it was a bomb. Not very many people watched it, and there's a couple of things...
We didn't promote it. I'll say that.
We didn't promote it. It was really just a test run, and we played it on Friday night, which is probably really a moronic thing to do, because...
All the Magic players are playing Magic on Friday night, strangely.
They're playing and not watching. So it will be on Sundays from 12 to 4.
We have an exciting format for it, though.
Yeah, I really am excited about that format.
So we're not going to reveal too much right now.
Yeah.
Because it's still in the works. And our creative team will murder us if we reveal too much.
It won't just be, come watch some Magic games.
Right.
There's going to be, players to follow and a trek to the end, and it's going to be. I'm really excited about it. Actually, in fact, I might play in it. I don't know. Chaos isn't going to let me play in it, but I might play in it.
I might force him to play in it now.
Might be fun.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We gotta get some players for that, and then hopefully get some of you guys. Even in the local area or further out in the local area to come join, because it'll be exciting to kind of go down that path for become Ready Player.
It's going to be a league. We'll say that it's going to be a league. So, but with that, we should probably start wrapping up here. We got Out of the Box coming up here soon. Hopefully everyone's really excited about that. I'm really excited to see what the group's going to do this week. And
let me do a quick, because we were all over. Let's sum up really fast.
Yeah, please.
Tuesday, KNN, 6 p.m. These are all Mountain Standard Time. KNN is the Chaotic Night Network. Your new show. It's a show we're doing now.
Yep.
Tune in, follow us. We like to think we're cool. Hopefully you do, and you can let us know.
Or showing to make fun of us. Either way.
Make fun of Chaos.
Yeah, that works.
Well, you can make fun of me too. So Tuesday, KNN, 6 to 7 p.m.-ish. Then we got 7 to 10, RPG Out of the Box.
Out of the Box,
Again,
yep.
Mountain Standard Time. That's with Big Ash, GM.
Bad Ash.
GM, and the game was really cool. I have to say, I do want to do a shout out to Bad Ash, because it was so good.
He ran a great game. Yeah, and he's not normally a DM. So
is he not?
No,
okay, I wouldn't have known that.
So
either,
he did fantastic.
Yeah,
he's normally a player. So
if you haven't seen that, tune into that. It is fantastic. So that's Tuesday. Wednesday we're going to do Dungeon Delvers, and that starts next week. Not
next
this
week
at 7 p.m.
Yep.
Mountain Standard Time, and check that one out. Thursdays will be Immersion RPG at 7 p.m. And if you didn't miss...
We'll be starting at 6 starting next week, but we'll be doing more of a role-play commentary, talking about the state of gaming, and specifically in role-playing games.
Yeah. So all these shows will actually be 6 to 10 at some point.
Yep.
Right now they may be 7 to 10, because we're just doing the tabletop part of it. Friday is the Boardroom, which will be board games, which starts in 3 weeks towards the 1st of June. And then Saturday we have Legacies of War, which
I'm excited about that one.
Next week. Super stoked about that. General's Journey's in there, 40K, Age of Sigmar, Underworlds, all the Games Workshop games. Really cool. 12 to whenever it's done in the afternoon. Again, Mountain Standard Time. And then on Sundays, Ready Table 1, from 12 to 4 will also start in 3 weeks. Get a favorite player and follow him down and cheer him on.
Yep.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm
Yep.
totally stoked for
Yeah,
that.
I'm really excited what we got going
So
there. And then
that'd be really cool.
at some point in the future, not too far future, we'll be doing some painting videos too. And those might be YouTube exclusive. We might do some live streaming for them. Once again, working with our creative team to get all the details worked out. But I'll be doing some painting demonstrations and just chatting with the chat while I'm painting as well, if we do the live stream side of it. And we'll see what kind of turnout we get for that, if we'll make that a thing.
Yeah, the painting videos I'm excited about, and the creative team clashes with Chaos a lot because he's the only one that can actually paint. But so we have to. He's the talent, so we have to kind of cater to what he wants. So it'll be good. But no, we're excited for the painting videos. It's about 20 hours, right? We're shooting for about 20 hours.
20 plus hours of
20 plus,
content a
and
week.
We're trying to push to more. We want to hear from you guys.
Yes.
What do you want to see? What do you want to know about? What things do you want on these shows? What shows do you want?
Right.
We're getting ready to kind of blow this thing out of the water. Give us a month or so to get our feet under us on
Yep.
these new shows, and then we'll add more stuff for what you guys want to see. And we want to know that. You can email us at night at chaoticnight.com or chaos@chaoticnight.com, and that's our Twitter handles.
Yep.
Chaos and Night.
Yeah, reach out on social media.
Yeah. We're learning
and-
it, so use it.
And if you like what you're seeing, please vote with your views. Tune in, watch the shows live.
Yep. Follow, watch them live. We got Twitter, we got Facebook, we got Twitch. Get on.
Yep.
Tell your buddies.
YouTube coming very soon.
Get them done. This is going to be a different show than I think what you've seen out there, and we're
Yeah.
a different network, if you will.
Yep.
On all of that, and we want to hear from you guys and know what you're thinking and what's going on in your brains. So,
All right.
is that it?
Yeah.
All right, you guys have a wonderful week. We will see you next Tuesday.
Yes.
At 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here for another edition of KNN. Don't miss RPG Out of the Box with your GM Big Ash and his gang.
Bad.
And Bad Ash. I'm going to say it wrong every time.
It's all
Bad
good.
Ash and his gang, and check that out. RPG
Coming
Out
up
of the
next.
Box. Coming up next.
Yeah.